What's up?
Dude!
We're here.
You're here, bro.
I'm all the way out here.
I've had to literally make you hop on a plane and fly here to do the podcast in person.
I caught a flight to be here.
I made you do that.
I'm very happy to
Nah,
be
you volunteered.
here. Yeah, no, definitely.
Dude, thanks for being here.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Appreciate
Dude.
the time and, congrats on all this, dude.
Dude, thank you so much,
Right?
man. David Meachem,
Hello.
very good homie of mine,
Nice.
fellow Volkswagen enthusiast.
Yes, sir.
You were the one who I actually talked to originally about doing this whole podcast.
Yeah, no, it's it's random conversations that we have, and it just evolves into something like this, where we're like, yeah, we should just talk about Volkswagens and talk about the good old days and things like that. And now here we are.
Yeah, dude. I remember that phone conversation. I
Right?
forgot how it started, but I was like, dude, I'm thinking about starting a podcast, like water-cooled Volkswagens. I don't think anyone out there's really doing it. Well, there's a couple of them, but my whole thing was video podcast, put it on YouTube, bring the scene back kind of, or flesh out all these stories, meet all these people that, I want to talk to and have an excuse and just, you were like, bro, you should totally do that.
I mean, it's cool to have those type of conversations of just bringing back, memories. That's what I think it was with us. We'd end up getting together and then we just talk about what we used to do and things that were fun and then what it is now and how it's so different, but how it could you sort of come back to that. It just, convos that come from
reminiscing
that,
on the old days, dude.
Oh, it's cool.
That's what it was. We were just talking about all the shit we used to do, all the cars, all the meets.
Yeah. This is the funnest times I think I've had is that time. It's just when we just do whatever.
Random stuff.
Random. It's just
try to find an excuse to hang out.
Yeah.
Really.
It doesn't happen much anymore. It's just
No, I mean, we're all old and adulting and stuff
you
now.
grow up and you're your Target runs and your Costco runs. Sometimes it's out of your day. It's not cool.
I know, dude. But yeah, that that one conversation we had literally a year ago.
Yeah.
Or a little more than a year ago.
Probably.
And I was like, man, we always talk about these stories and stuff. I kind of was thinking about starting a podcast. And you're like, bro, you should totally do that. I was like, dude, if Meach says start a podcast, I'm starting a podcast.
I mean, it's not just me, but all the conversations I think you've had, that I've been able to listen to and to watch, it brings back all those better days and those fun times. And just to see where people are now, where people are at now.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
Yeah, you lose track of people or whatever.
Yeah.
And getting in touch with them. And that's another thing that's been awesome. Everyone that I've done a podcast with so far, dude, Greg Zorn, Johnny Cook, Mark, Aaron, all those guys, super cool. It's crazy to be in a community like the Volkswagen community that we're in and reach out to essentially people who are strangers to me before all this and be like, dude, fan of everything you do. Would you do my podcast? And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I mean, it's just you see them their handles on Vortex or something like that, and you feel like you know them, or you you dork out on one of their build threads, but to actually see them and see hear their story of how they got into Volkswagens, how they got started with maybe a company that they built up, and what they're doing now, and to see that evolution of the Mark IV heydays of VW Vortex, and to see where they're at now. That maybe if you don't get on Vortex as much, but where they're at now and what they're doing. Dude, it's cool to see. I dig it.
I know there's so many stories from back in those days, and so many up and comers and people's new projects.
Yeah.
For me, from the forum days, you didn't really get to see, you could see the build threads and stuff like that, but it's a lot different than when someone's explaining to you what the whole process was, or there's nuances that you can have in conversation that you just can't get out of reading a build thread.
Yeah,
that's
what
I mean?
I dork out on. It's just how you got there, the ins and outs, because you go on Vortex and you would see somebody's 20th, their build on their 20th. But you dork out on every single post that they would do.
Yeah.
And you'd hope for a post with a shit ton of pictures.
Yeah.
And you just dork out on that.
And or that one person would ask a good question or a question that you would have in your mind. Like you'll be going through the thread and be like, oh yeah, this dude's thinking what I'm thinking. And you're like, where's this guy's answer?
Yeah. Oh no.
Like, how do you do that? I shave the bay. How do you tuck the wires? Like, what did you do with this? Like,
I do that now. Like I, work on stuff at home and I'm like, oh, what about this? And I'll just like type it out on Google. And then like half of the responses are vortex threads.
Yeah.
And then now you just go through that rabbit hole of just like, or you just go down that hole of just like, a build thread from like,
without pictures.
Yeah. Like,
photo bucket.
Yeah.
Rip.
It's like, exactly.
Killed then, every like forum.
It sucked. But you find something like that or find a forum or a thread that has all the pictures and you start to reminisce on what you were doing back then. Anyway.
Yeah, dude. No, dude, it's like super awesome, man. Like getting this whole thing started again. Like, man, I really have to like give credit to that conversation that we had when I was like, man, dude, like I'm really thinking about starting a podcast. I didn't have anything going at that time, dude.
Yeah. I don't mean shit.
I had to remodel all this shit. I had to like do the equipment. I had to like learn a bunch of things or two.
It's a lot. I'm sure it's a lot.
Fuck, man. Once I started to get it rolling based off of that conversation that we had, I was like, dude, this is gonna be cool.
It's cool. I've been able to watching a majority of them, and the conversations that you guys have is cool, and to see like all the walks of life of like just the regular enthusiast like myself, all the way down to someone else who's doing it big with CKW2, like just seeing that like that's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. That's what I want for the podcast too, dude. I didn't want just like a bunch of bangers, like. I want to have enthusiasts on, dude. I want like, you know what I mean? Like I want like people who are like running companies, whoever's like contributing to the community or the scene on the whole. I want to get on the podcast.
No, it's cool to see like just the regular guy like myself, or I feel like it's a regular guy like myself who just like sees a cool Volkswagen, sees a cool Audi, has a couple cars themselves, is building something. I'm, building something myself, like down to someone who has like a business, who's like running shit and daily, that's contributing to the scene.
Yeah,
and it's like it's cool to hear stories from both sides.
Yeah.
And be able to share that.
What's dope for the most part about like our scene with the Volkswagen stuff is like it's enthusiasts who are doing that stuff. It's the enthusiasts who are like starting companies where it's like apparel stuff or shops or tuning shops or whatever. It's like dudes who are down, there's like so many other scenes out there. Like I'm a skateboarder, right? And there's like so many like fake dudes who try to get into skateboarding to capitalize on it. True. That aren't really like about it.
Yeah.
But that's what I love the Volkswagen scene community so much. Is like everyone who are like starting these companies or have like apparel lines or like I said, they're enthusiasts themselves. They have dope ass cars too, or they're like a huge fan of the scene in general,
For sure.
So that's
like it's cool to like to see them, do that. And I guess I think back, back in like the heyday of Mark Floors, where was it 2010 maybe?
I'd say that's like the peak taper,
right?
Yeah.
Of just like you go, like I say it again, but like you go back on these threads and you don't even know these people. Obviously you don't know these people, but you're like they go from like these people that are like, oh yeah, up here, and now you have these conversations with them. You're just like, oh, some of these guys are just like regular
normal dudes.
Like they just like the same shit I do. Like they just made a business out of it, and they're thriving, and it's cool to see.
Nah, dude, it's been so awesome. Like just the conversations that I have, and I learn a ton of stuff too. And that's another part of another reason that I wanted to start the podcast, because I figured I'd have people on who know things, who'd want to talk to me, and like if I'm learning something, then chances are like whoever's like listening or watching is gonna be learning stuff too.
I do too. Like I don't know a bunch of shit too, but like to be able to hear someone's story and to be able to hear like what they go through, the fabrication of things, and just all that stuff is just it's dope to hear, and to take and maybe use in my projects, or someone else is using in their little whatever they're doing. It's cool.
That's a big thing I want to do too, is just like getting enthusiasts who are building cool stuff on the podcast, and like just like what's going on with this thing,
and to have them share that story. Half those people want to talk about it. They're just not asked questions, and like you just do the simple like, what are you working on right now? And they're like, and they just spill it. It's just like, I'm working on this, I'm working on that.
I've talked to this with a bunch of other people too. It's like, you know, you see pictures of the cars, but you don't like know the stories behind them.
For sure.
I
like that. I like the stories.
Like the story, but like crazy stories, like Mark. Yeah. In his Caddy when I had him on, like that whole story.
Yeah.
It's not even like that didn't even have anything to do with the build that the insane build that he's got going on right now. Like the story on how he acquired that sport truck was insane.
No, and then like that's the beauty of it too. Like it's something that if someone asks you at a Cars and Coffee or asks you at some sort of meet, like you have a story to tell about the car or the truck or whatever. Like I do it all the time. I'm at a Cars and Coffee event and they've asked me about it. Yeah. About my truck, and it's like. It's the cool thing of like how you acquired it, what you've done, like what's next on your your list. It's just be able to share that with people that are like genuinely like down with what you're doing. Yeah, it's cool. And then in this case, like to be able to hear someone's story and then have people that are listening to it that are like genuinely down with like what you're saying. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, no, it's dope, dude, and I'm like super stoked on how everything's been going so far. But I still, like I said, I have to like. Give everything, like all this wouldn't have happened if we didn't have that conversation a year ago, dude.
And we continue to have those conversations, just like to get better at things and just what's next. So I mean, I'm down.
I had Justin on. Shout out to Justin Fisher, homie Justin. Yeah, I had him on, and we were talking about.
Dude's huge. You gotta fuck what you say. That dude's huge.
We were talking about stuff, dude. And it's we were like a 3-piece. Me, and Justin. We were the crew. That was the crew.
Oh, for sure.
Like post car stuff, right? Like we were huge in the car scene and all the car stuff. We kind of fell off a little bit, but us three, like that was our car crew.
Yeah. For sure.
And we were talking about that. And we were like, Meach has always been like the voice of reason.
No, I mean, you guys try and do some wild shit, and I'll be like, I don't know, bro. It's like, not to like, shit on your guys' ideas, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
It's like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing it. Like the most cliche thing to say, right? Yeah. Hey man, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. I was expecting you to be like, I don't know, bro, but you're like, bro, do it.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's good ideas, and then there's just kind of like the ideas are like, well, I don't know. Are we going to go to jail? Like, how long are we going to go to jail for?
The question isn't if we're going to go to jail. Like, it's like, how long are we going to be in jail?
There? So, I like to think about it, and then, if it sounds like it still sounds like a good idea, then we're good.
That's hilarious, dude.
I just, it's just my take on it. I don't expect you guys to, like, go with what I'm doing. I just, like, this is what I probably would do.
I'm the kind of guy who learns by experience. And my experience has always been like, just listen to what Meach says.
Well, I like to learn from experience when I'm at the house. But we like to do shit when we're like in Santa Barbara on the way to like San Diego.
How many crazy trips have we had, dude?
Yeah.
Bro, I want to get into like your history and cars and everything. But before we do, we've had some crazy trips. There are very few people that I could call up the day before I decide to drive to Santa Barbara. From Northern California to pick up a set of wheels.
Yes. Oh, dude.
And you're always that dude.
Always. I mean, like, you always had to like come through my city. So I'm like,
true.
Yeah, why not? Like,
hey, bro, you're on the way.
Yeah. At that time, I was like, yeah, I can do it. When are we leaving?
Tomorrow?
Oh, okay. It's 9 o'clock the
night before.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna get up at 6.
I'm like,
I guess I'm going to bed.
Hey, bro, I'll call you. And you'll answer. This one I remember specifically. The night before, it is like 9 o'clock. The night before, I'm talking to dude. What is homie's name? Oh, I got the billet, the image billet 88s from him. Yeah. These are the ones I was picking up for my Jetta Sport wagon. Yeah. So I'm randomly texting back and forth with him, and then we like strike a deal for the wheels. And you're like the first person. I'm like, well, I don't want to roll all the way like. I was in, Northern California at the time. Santa Barbara was like a 5-hour, 6-hour drive. Yeah. Roughly from where I was at. Yeah. It's like, man, that's 12 hours round trip. I don't want to do that by myself. I'm going to hit up Meach. Right? So.
Who's dumb enough to answer the phone right now? Like, yeah, that's me. Like, oh, Ryan's calling.
We're the kind of people, like, We don't like talk on the phone. Like we'll have like phone conversations every once in a while.
But
like
you're like the one person that I probably have the longest conversations with.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like my wife will be like, "Who are you talking to?" I was like, "Ryan." She's like, "For an hour?" I'm like,
you know, it's super funny, like, dude. It's like
for an hour?
Anytime anyone calls me, I'm like, why the fuck are you calling me, bro? Except for you, Justin, and my buddy Chris.
Yeah, that's it.
And my buddy Simon. If any of you guys call me, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like it doesn't matter what. I could be like on my deathbed with like whatever. And I'd be like, oh shit, Meach, what's up, bro?
It's like, what were you doing? No, nothing. An hour later. But yeah.
9:00 that night, I call you up. And I'm like, hey, dude. You're like, hey, Ro, what's up, dude? I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow? You're like, oh, I think I had this and this and that. I'm like, you want to go to Santa Barbara and get a set of wheels with me?
I guess I do.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah. So you cancel everything.
No, you're like, what are you getting? I'm like, I'm picking up these Image Billet 88s. And you're like, what?
Yeah. It's almost just for like to see them. Like, oh yeah, let's go to Santa Barbara.
Dude, what was homie's name? He was a homie from SoCal.
I know the face, but like,
damn, dude.
Yeah.
My bad, dude. If I forgot your name, I'm gonna feel bad.
Yeah.
He was a homie we would always go down SoCal and like kick it with.
And we kick it with him, yeah.
Yeah, when we hit the like car shows and stuff.
Dub Wars, Dub Fest.
Yeah.
Like we say we hang out with them like the day before.
And I forgot what he had those wheels on, but like I remember like being in love with those wheels.
I feel like there was on a CC.
Was it a CC? Dude, you're right. It was like a champagne CC.
Yeah.
And I love those Image Billet 88 wheels.
Yeah.
Google it if you guys haven't seen them. I was like obsessed with them, and he was like the only one in the States, I think, that even had a set.
Yeah. He was
right. And then we were talking at a car show, and I was like, dude, if you ever get rid of these wheels, like I want them. So he rings me up, and he's like, hey, man, I'm thinking about getting rid of these wheels. And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about buying those wheels. They turned into a drama wheels.
Yeah, you tried to put them on a JSW. When it came
well,
from
dude.
CC.
So Image built the rears wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's
They built one a 10.5 and one like an 11 or something.
Yes, that's right.
You know, remember? Yes. And I didn't know that until like literally I showed up to pick him up, and he's like, yo, check it out.
You're like, what?
I'm like, fuck, really?
6 hours.
Damn. So then we do the whole thing. We chilling in Santa Barbara. We go to a couple breweries. We pick up the wheels, and then we get them back to my house. And the same day, we're like, test fit.
Instantly.
Time to throw them on after like a 15-hour trip. And then I like totally fucked up the fenders in that. Yeah. On the, like, creased them completely. And
full send on like the jack, putting the jack guard down, just boom.
Didn't work.
Crumple.
I think I cashed homie out like $2,800, $3,000 for those wheels.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. I mean, I wasn't,
they were on my car,
them, but like,
bro. They were on my car for like
5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe.
No, not even that, dude.
For a picture,
it was like 2 months.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like just said.
Nah, dude. And I only put them on to like go to a show or something, or like a car meet, and then I would take them off and I'd rock the stocks, or I think I had some other set of I think the Phaeton wheels.
Yeah, those green ones.
But then I like fucking sold them for a major loss.
Yeah,
because I didn't want to rebuild them. But just stories like that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you live and you learn stories.
Millions of them.
Oh, dude, all those times we just go random ass places and pick up stuff that maybe
car parts, or just random.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have like Marketplace and like I actually had Craigslist, but like you know, you had the for sale threads on
the classifieds on like Vortex.
So like, it's especially I guess in Northern California, like they didn't really have anything. Everything I would see would be like SoCal or like Arizona. I'd be like, oh, if I only lived closer, but nothing.
Crazy. So let's get into like, dude, and that's another thing. When I was talking to Justin, I was like, dude, I have so many close homies, and I have a list of questions for a podcast I've never asked any of you motherfuckers.
No. And it was a good question, because I thought to myself, like, I've never asked really any of my friends how they got into Volkswagens. It's just like you've had them, and you've just been dorking out on them since I've known you. So I guess I just automatically thought, like, yeah, you just, that was your first car. That's what you love to do. Like,
yeah.
And half the time it's like, no, I drove like a Honda.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. What was Colin's first car? Ford Probe. Sorry, Colin. You have the worst first car that I've had. I don't know. Yet.
Depending on the gen, because there was like the first Ford Probe, and then there was, like,
never did the body style of them. Were just always like.
I don't know. I never told anybody. I wouldn't say any out loud, but I was like, the second gen Ford Probe, I was kind of feeling it. I was like, but I wouldn't say anything because I was driving a Honda at that time, but I was driving a Civic. I was like, yo, this second gen Ford Probe, you do some shit to it? I don't know.
Dude, that's hilarious. I wouldn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I'd keep it to myself, but, you know, I'm down.
So, I'm gonna ask you those questions then, dude. Cool. How did you get into Volkswagens, man?
Dude, it's wild. Like, I think I got into Volkswagens at first from my aunt. I call her my Auntie A. She had a Mark II Jetta, which she hates Jettas. You hate Jettas, so I'll keep that story short. But she had a Mark II Jetta. Was it the Wolfsburg with the kit? So it was gray, and had all like the Mark II seats that like all the Mark I kids on right now. Full, like, I thought that car was the shit. Like, she dropped me off at like elementary school, and I thought, like, fuck your Mercedes, your BMWs. Like, I really knew what they were, but like I thought my Auntie A's Mark II Jetta was like, dude, the shit.
Even though I hate Jettas, all right, it was specifically Mark III Jettas,
right?
But the first car I tried to get was a Mark II Jetta.
Yeah.
And I ended up with a Mark III.
Right.
But I thought they were hot back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. No, I still think Mark II Jettas are dope, especially the coupes.
They are. I love the coupes. Yeah. But she had that. I dug it. Like, but I was like a kid, and I was still like into like monster trucks and dumb shit like that. So it was like whatever. But I was still into them. And then who else had it? My wife actually had a Mark III. So yikes.
Jetta?
Yeah. Mark III Jetta, but it was VR6. So I mean, is that better?
So, that's definitely better.
All right, cool. Yeah. So that was the car that like she learned how to drive stick on.
Nice.
So she only had it for a year. So I guess that's cool for you because you don't like so. But finally, the person who really got me back into like Volkswagens, because I was like, I'm like a Honda, like large truck kind of guy. I was like a Honda, like, you know, full size truck kind of guy.
Yeah.
But my brother had a Mark IV GLI. So he like had a function or something like at the house, and he like pulls up in a Mark IV GLI. And I'm like, bro, what is this? It's like, oh, it's my I just got it. Like, it's my Jetta. I'm like, no, but like, why does it have a kit? Like, why does it look good?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a GLI. It's like got a kit. It's
got the lip.
It's got
yeah.
I was like, oh, bro, like,
Recaro interior.
Yeah, the Recaro interior. I was like, yo, this thing is dope. And at the time, I was driving like a Ford Harley Davidson F-150. It was just insane. Like, it's like, I go back to my first car was like a Honda Civic, like an EG coupe. It was my mom's. She bought it like brand new, and like I bought it from her. It was like automatic. Only thing she had in it, she like bought it brand new.
It was an auto?
Auto.
I didn't even know they made those in auto.
Roll up windows. Only thing she like spec'd out like she wanted, AC. That was it. Didn't come with a radio. Didn't come with anything. She put all that stuff in. But I bought that from her, and then it was like Fast and Furious came out. So then like, you know, I have this Honda Civic, and then the first couple frames of Fast and Furious is 3 Honda Civics going ham on a semi truck.
Yep.
So, you know, walking out of that movie,
with that green underglow.
Yeah, walking out of that movie, that was my car. And you say my car is like automatic Civic DX, like slow as shit.
Hey, those are probably the same as the movie's car. The movie car, though. They're probably automatic.
Oh, like knowing what I know now, they probably were, right? So then, like, I take that Civic, do a motor swap in it. Then I have 5 feet, like, you know, LS motor, not like LS, like how we do it here.
Yeah.
Kind of how we do it now, but like an LS motor, 5-speed. Like, I thought I was the man.
Oh shit!
Right. So I had that. Then got into like trucks. So I had an S10 Extreme.
Ooh, those are sick.
I don't know what gen. Somebody, who was it? John said it was saying like gens. I was like, I don't know what gen it was, but it was like maybe it was a Gen 2, Gen 3. But it had the kit on it.
Yeah.
Right? Thought I was the man. No. It was like a V6, but like, you know, or V8 actually. And I put exhaust on it. I thought it was shit. It's like made all the cool noises. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Then I got like a Ford Harley Davidson F-150, like the 4-door with like the crew, like the captain's chairs.
And it had like the Harley Davidson badges all over it.
Yeah. Oh, it was just, but it was like back when like, you know, Nelly was doing like Air Force One videos and like people were like, it was like Pimp My Ride. So yeah, I had like screens in it, like for no fucking reason. Like I was like an idiot, like working at Old Navy in a Harley Davidson F-150 with screens in it. Like
Hold up, you worked at Old Navy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's how I met my wife.
Oh, shit.
That's another story we can, when we come back to the house and we can all have dinner together. But, you know, I had that. So then it goes back to when my brother, you know, came out to this function. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, oh, it's Mark IV it's like a Jetta GLI.
Mm-hmm. So this had to have been like around 03, 04, right? Because that's when they came out.
Yeah.
I think the GLIs are 03.
So 04. It's like after that, like the week or two later, I'm like on the hunt for now of Mark IV GLI. I gotta have one. Right?
Nice.
So nobody in our immediate area. So I live in the Bay Area. Like nobody in the Bay Area had a GLI. They were so popular. You know, finding out they're so popular. Mm-hmm. And they had like red ones, but I didn't want a red one. I had like a red truck. Got tickets. I was like, I don't want a red one. Yeah. But they had this gray. Like I'm like, oh yeah,
Silverstone, right?
No, it was I want to think it was
a GLI color.
I think it was like space gray. I want to say it was space. No, maybe it's not. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Dude, I wish I knew all the fucking colors off the top of my head.
I know like some of them, but like I don't know all of them. I want to say it's space gray. Maybe it's not. But anyway, it was like the darker gray color, and nobody had them in the Bay Area. So I'm like searching around, and I find it in Stockton, California. Ooh. You know, if anyone knows where Stockton, California is, like it's like you don't like drive through, like you just drive through. And shout out to anybody who lives in Stockton. Like I'm sure it's nice, but it's not for me. So I find one in Stockton, California. In that same day, my wife and I are like out at Stockton at Hammer Lane Volkswagen. And the crazy part about it, like my first sort of Volkswagen is my wife and I buy 2
GLIs. What? Matching?
Same color. Hers is auto. Mine is.
Dude, I remember this.
And the crazy part about it, and I have a picture of it, is that our license plates were 1 number off.
No way.
Yeah. And I still have the license plates because I have license plates to every car.
Swap your wife's plate on and then go ham. Yeah. Get some tickets.
You can go crazy. Swap it back. Get over the bridge, no big deal. Like all that stuff. But yeah, that was like my first Volkswagen.
Platinum?
Is it?
Silverstone?
What is it?
I'm trying to look it up right now. Platinum gray metallic?
Yeah, maybe it's that.
Was
Platinum
that?
Gray. That sounds good.
Let's roll
Platinum
with that.
Gray, because there's Silverstone and then there's another. So yeah, I think it's Platinum Gray. What do I call it? Space Gray. No, it's Platinum Gray. Platinum Gray. Final answer. But yeah, that was my first Volkswagen. That's like how I got into Volkswagens. And
Rad. That's when I met you.
And that's how I met you. I met you. I met your wife. Because
and she had a Mark IV GLI at the time.
GLI, and I thought like, you know, we were all homies. Like we have Mark IV GLIs. Like we gotta know each other. We gotta be friends.
I didn't have Mark IV GLI.
No, because you hate Jettas. So why would you have a Mark
I
IV
never
GLI?
hated your Jetta.
That's true. No, that's good. But no, that's how I like got into Volkswagens, and like in my sort of intro into like this Mark IV or just Volkswagens in general. Because it was like I got that and I started modding it. Like you start with springs. I did like the starter kit of Volkswagens. The GLI already came a little lower, but I put like springs on it, so I like made it a little bit lower than that. Yeah, and I should have just got coils. Yeah, but you know you don't really know. You live and you learn, right? Had that. Got wheels, and after owning it for like 2 years. I saw your R32. So then, like, I guess 2 years, like, fast forward 2 years, like, you and I are, like, pretty cool. Oh, this dude's car right there.
Oh, shit.
Right?
It just popped up.
Yeah.
Fuck. What was that fool's name?
But, you know, fast forward 2 years, like, we're obviously, we're cool. Like, we're closer.
Yeah.
And, like, we're kicking it now, and I'm like seeing your R32. I'm like, man, this thing.
Nah, dude, it was the day I let you drive it.
Oh, it's probably that.
The day I let you drive it.
Dude, you let me drive something, and I'm like, if I like really like it, oh, it's over. Like my wife will tell you, like she's like, dude, no. I'm like, come on, man. Like it's
I remember that. I was like, bro, you're like, oh, the R32s. I'm like, bro, just get one.
Yeah, you want to drive
it? Just drive it. And then you're like driving around and shit.
Oh, dude.
And then like 2 weeks later, you had a Mark IV R32.
And it's like the 2 weeks later, I have Mark IV R32. But then it's no preparation. It goes back to like your wheel story of like no preparation.
Yeah.
So it's like 2
spontaneous. Like I just want it.
Yeah. And I find the R32 like in Hayward, like it's like 10, 15 minutes from the house. Mm-hmm. And I buy it, but I don't bring the GLI because my wife's like, if you bring your GLI, you're going to trade it in. So we bring like her car. Mm-hmm. Don't trade that in, but I buy it anyways. And like, oh yeah, bring the GLI.
So now you have 3 Mark IVs.
Yeah, bring the GLI like 2 days later, so you can like swap. And
yeah,
but I had all to sit on my GLI still. I still had the wheels on it. I still had springs on it. I still had all the stuff I needed to like take off.
Yeah. Did you have any bolt-on stuff like intake?
Yeah,
like diverter valve, like all. You had all that cool, all the.
But it's the like the seam. I guess the I equate it to like all the friends that I've made. Mm-hmm. Like I've called a friend of mine, Dustin, like the day before. It's like, yo, I'm in a spot. Like I need you to come help me
pull all this shit off.
Because like it was like the day before. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, and so he's like coming to my house. My car looks totally different. And that day, I gotta bring it back to the dealer like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So like we're thrashing on this car, and like the final thing is like me swapping my wheels from my GLI to my R32 that I just bought.
Those are Riles, right?
Yeah.
The Daytonas?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
in the dealership parking lot.
So, you're like, you roll up, you're like, hold up, we got one last thing to do.
It's pictures of Dustin and I swapping the wheels and then taking it home. So like that's like hilarious. That, but those are like the like again the stories that we talk about of like how you acquire a car, or like what's the funniest story about a car. Mm-hmm. And I talk about that all the time. It's like when I got my R32 and I was modding my R32 in the dealership parking lot.
I remember like, I'm trying to remember back because things get kind of fuzzy in that time frame. If I'm remembering this correctly, you didn't tell me right away.
Oh no!
You just fucking showed up in it
because I was at a meet. Yo, you know what's gonna like? You know what'd be dope if I just bought this car and like we just showed up,
dude.
Because nobody had one. Like I mean, we had like friends we had that had them, but like you already knew, like they've had them for a long time. Mm-hmm. But like when someone like new shows up with like a car, or it's just
I think this was like 06 ish, right? When you got the R,
I think so.
06 ish.
Yeah, because it only had like 12,000 miles on it.
Dude, like I forgot what meet it was. I want to say it was like an in and out meet.
Yeah, but it might have been a Friday meet. I'm sure it was a Friday meet because like there was nothing else going on.
So it was a night meet. I can't remember if it was like in and out meet or not or something or not. And it's dark and like, you know, all the homies are there and like a bunch of cars were raging in this parking lot. And I see this black Magic Pearl Mark IV R32 rolling up. I'm like, oh, bro, who's the dude in the Mark IV R? Sweet. Got another R rolling up here on some Ryle Daytona wheels. All right, cool. Is that fucking Meach? And you're like throwing the deuces driving by. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I probably got this big ass cheese on my face of like, yeah, I'm out here. No, I felt like so the man, funny. Dude. Like
you parked, get out. You're like, what's up, everybody?
Yeah,
we're like, bro,
like, you got R32?
You're like,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, you try and play it off like you're cool, but like inside you're like freaking out. Like, you just want to tell everybody, like, oh my god, it's so dope.
That was great, dude. I was like, what the fuck? When did this happen? Tell me.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I found one, low miles. Like, I told you I was gonna get one.
If I can, you know, make it happen, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down for sure.
And then we rolled R32s
for a while.
Dude.
We go everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the SoCal R32 meets, Dub Fest, Dub Wars. You know, I think I went to Wooster Fest one time in it.
Why did we ever sell those cars?
Oh, it's the worst. I see them now and I'm like, ugh,
dude,
why?
I know.
And I'm almost okay with like buying like a clapped out one. just to have another one.
I'm trying to find a clapped out one.
But like,
I'm the king of clapped out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. But like, they want so much money.
I was telling you, I came close.
Yeah.
Man.
But it's just, I don't know. I think that one day I'll end up having, I probably gotta sell some stuff and then like promise my wife something extraordinary to get another one, just because we don't have room in the garage and driveway for another car.
Dang, dude. I remember, so I got rid of my R first. I parted it and sold it, and I got a TDI wagon. And then you sold your R and got a Passat, right?
Yes, got a Passat. But that was like, we did like at the time, it was like the grown-up thing to do because we were having kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we're pregnant. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta get rid of this.
Make some changes.
Yeah, I mean, like, we gotta buy a house. We gotta, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to put my kid in the backseat of an R32.
Yeah.
Like, now, you know, thinking back at it, I'll be like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. Like, he can sit back there. It'll be, you know, soothing.
He's cool.
Yeah, no, but it'll be, you know, again, it's like stuff that happens and then you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, I'm in a position now. I'm like, all right, well,
man, I want all the things.
Yeah, I want all of them. Like, I don't have enough room. I want to get all the stuff.
That's my problem, dude. I just run out of space.
Yeah. To just like
things. Have them.
Yeah. I'm trying to get there, but I don't know. We're doing remodeling in the house and doing all this other stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well,
all that stuff done, then I'll get back into buying random cool shit.
I remember when that happened, dude. I sold my R32 and everyone was like, oh, dude, that's a bummer. And then you got ready to like almost like around the same exact time.
Yeah,
you
probably around the same.
You're like, I sold it. You had the same stuff going on as I had going on. We were like adulting.
Yeah.
You know? And then you got that Passat and then bagged the Passat.
Wasn't supposed to do anything to
You did the same thing I did to my TDI.
I don't know how many times I've promised my wife, like, I'm not doing anything to this one. And it's just like, yeah. No, I mean, if you're a car person or an enthusiast, like, you don't want it to be stock. Like, and I was like, oh, no, I won't do anything to this. And then, yeah, like a year later, it's bagged and it's, you know, unusable. Can't go anywhere in it. And then I get another car. I got to get into something else. So, yeah.
Ruin the daily and then have to get another daily.
Get another daily, and then you ruin that one and you get another daily. So, yeah.
Dude, that Mark IV R was so clean. I'm looking at pictures of it right now.
It was fun. I see pictures of it, and I'm like, man, it would be fun to
and you had the Black Magic Pearl with the full leather interior, right?
It started off full leather,
cloth centers.
And then I sourced cloth ones.
What?
You found me cloth ones.
Oh,
because you didn't have, because you put actual seats in yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where I found the cloth one. Maybe it was like a random person that we knew, like had mutual friends and had an R. And I want to say it was she had an R. And she
was
had
it Sully?
Yes,
Sully. Yeah. Shout out Sully.
Yeah, I think she had one, and she had cloth interior, and I took that. And
because I remember it came with leather.
Yes.
Because that was
no, because then I had the cloth inserts, and now I almost want to cry on why I gave it away again. But yeah, I mean, that was the car that I think I had the most fun in. I probably cut my teeth into like actually caring about a build and like caring what was on my car, and all that stuff. Like, it was quick.
You always kept that I mean, with all your cars, and Justin and I, when I was talking about this too, like, you're very meticulous about the condition of all of your cars. You're like constantly detailing, constantly cleaning, constantly doing maintenance. Like, you're the dude you're the dude who you want to buy cars off of.
Yeah, I'm probably
Everybody listening to this or watching this, if Meach is selling a car, it's probably the best example of that car you'll ever find.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty upfront with everything, but like, I just like a clean car. I just don't like going places and having like the dirtiest car in the lot. Like I don't mind having a dirty car, but like if it can be clean, then yeah, I'm gonna have.
You're just like meticulous about everything. Like when I had my Mark IV, I bagged it, drilled a bunch of holes into it, wrapped it. Like I did some kind of dumb shit to it as far as like, you know, purest concerns.
Right.
But yours was just like coilovers, wheels that fit. You know, like very like.
Yeah, it's like like we talked about it before, but it's like OEM plus.
Yeah,
it's like all the stuff that I feel like I may have been able to check off if I bought it brand new, and that's what I do. Like sort of with all of my builds, or you know, I say builds like they're really anything cool, but like all of the stuff that I work on is like,
all very OEM plus.
OEM plus. Yeah, like some of the wheels are probably, you know, they may have questions about, but like, you know, just something that like fits. That era, that time, and just you know, that I can ride around as clean. Yeah, I don't need a show car. Like, you know, I've tried to do that, and it's just not as fun. Like, I don't see show cars driving on the freeway on a Thursday in traffic as much. And like, I wish I could, but like, I just don't want to do that. But like, I just like an OEM plus looking car that's just clean.
Yeah, so. But what I'm saying, like, man, when I got done with that R, it was
tough.
I mean, I parted it out. You know, I did a ton of body work on it. I shaved everything on that car, so it looked funny when I put it back to stock because
everything was gone.
You know, well, it had like shaved hatch.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything
like
was gone.
A filled hood notch. It had like shaved doors.
Yeah, all that. And then you put it back to stock, and it just looks.
Yours was like clean, and I don't even think you put a ton of like we drove like to meets and stuff, but like when you sold it. Like it still had low miles for what it was at the time. It was,
yeah, probably.
And it was super clean and it was meticulously maintained.
I also equate that to. I also like think. I think the people that I've met for being able to keep it, you know, so put together. So,
Joe Banga.
Yeah. So it's Joe, it's Aaron. It's like all the people that you meet throughout your, you know, years of doing things that like you keep those relationships that. They want to make sure that you're good. Yeah. And they want to make sure that all the stuff that you're putting in your car or you're putting on your car at that time was working out for it. Yeah. You know. So, and I still have those relationships today to where like Joe put springs on my Q7 where it's like I just call him and he's like, yeah, let's come through. Like, you know, and it's like we haven't seen each other for a while, but it's like, you know, you catch up with them. It's just like how you used to do it, you know, back in the day.
Yeah. So he sold the R.
Yeah. Sold the R, got a Passat. I think I got a Passat right before we bought our first place.
I remember you got the Passat and then you got it on coilovers pretty quick. Yeah. And then I bagged my TDI.
Yeah, you bagged your TDI.
I was like, bro, you should bag your Passat.
You're like I think you're like a bad influence. Because like we'll
hey, drive my TDI, bro.
And then you'll like, oh, I press this button, and then like the whole car like comes down, and I'm like, oh, it's like almost like a lowrider. Because I'm like, I like lowriders. I'm like, oh man, it just had like juice. Like this would be dope. But like you hit the button, and it's like a gentle. And then you hear the, you know, frame
clunk,
hit
clunk.
You hit the frame hit the
axle seating into the notch.
I was like, oh, dude, I gotta have this. Like, how crazy is it gonna be to bag my Passat?
Let's talk about that.
Oh man,
wasn't there when you bagged it, but Justin and I definitely were trying to help you with some issues after the install.
Oh, we went to SoCal Euro. And we were in San Luis Obispo, and we were like made a stop just to like eat. And
didn't you have an air leak? Was one of your bags like leaking? I forgot. Like you were having a couple issues with it.
It's like the biggest trip I've taken, I think, in it. And like we go.
You're having some wiring issues.
Yeah, there's wiring issues, and I just got the second. What is it? Second pump?
The second compressor?
The second compressor.
That's right.
And it just like crapped out. Like I aired out, we went to go eat, go to air back up, nothing.
That's right.
And then
it's coming back to me now.
So I'm like,
so we're sitting there because we had shit like everything out of the trunk.
Everything's out.
We're like digging in there.
And
whoever installed that kit,
we find out that like, I don't know, like the what is it, the water trap was leaking.
Yep.
Or the water trap failed, and Justin or whoever ended up having another water trap. I don't know why, but we go to we start like, okay, this is the problem. Go to try and take it off, and like there's
homie used like some fucking thread locker
like
on that thing.
Loctite.
That and was like never coming out.
Back then, I was like, no, how does what? And Justin's like losing his shit. He's like, how the fuck do you put red Loctite on this? And like, who the fuck is? How can you service this? And
Justin was about to kill somebody.
This is like pre big ass Justin, but like he still had like the tattoos. So you're like, yo, this guy, everything good? I love him to death, but like he's the homie. But he was telling me like, yo, this dude put red Loctite on here. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that was like getting the water trap off. We had to get it off. We had to replace it. Like something was going on. I'm trying to remember what, but we got all the shit. Like we somehow get this one little issue fixed, and like we just need to air this thing up and get to San Diego. Yeah, and that was the goal.
That was the goal, to get to San Diego, and then we can fix it. For
real
out there.
So I remember we fixed whatever the issue was. We're able to air your car up. And then we drive the rest of the way to San Diego, which is the longest fucking drive I think we've ever taken, which shouldn't have been. That was a crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it now 2 other times to get cars, and it's never been.
Well, but that day, it took us like 15 hours to drive to San Diego.
Driving to LA is like the worst. If anybody lives in LA, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know.
So we get to San Diego, and the first thing we do is we're like, all right, let's fix your fucking air ride.
Fix your
and we literally pull your whole air ride out of your car.
Everything is sitting in the parking lot.
Only thing we didn't pull out were your air struts and the actual struts. Everything else. We unhooked all the airlines, pulled everything out, pulled the wiring out, pulled it and redid everything. Justin mostly.
No, it's definitely Justin.
Chased all that stuff. And that fool had it's funny because he's like, hey, I always traveled with an extra bag. That fool had water traps, fuses, like everything.
Because his was it a Mark 6?
6 TDI.
TDI. It was really nice. But when he built that, he had everything that he needed.
I think we needed spare airlines.
Yeah. It's in case, and he told me you should get all this stuff for the in case shit happens. Side of things. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Because we used everything in his
kit, dude.
Bag get you out of shit. We did everything. But
that was hilarious, bro.
But it's stories like that. It's it's stories that you have with your friends of
it was dark when we were working on your shit. Because we had to we literally didn't even check into our hotel rooms yet. We just showed up.
We were in their parking garage.
And we were in the parking garage fixing it to get it ready to be good to get to the show, and then obviously get it back to NorCal. Yeah. And then I think the weekend after that, I think you even brought it to my house, so we messed around with it then too. I think we had some other stuff to. Yeah, I think we added the compressor. Yeah. So I remember we had to delete. You had a dual compressor. We had to delete one of them for some reason. Yeah. And then you only ran
too much power.
I think you ran. There was a wiring issue, something there, and so you only ran one compressor for that whole thing. And then the next weekend you brought it, and we added the second compressor.
Fixed it for real
in my driveway. Yeah, I remember that.
I think I have pictures of that.
That Passat was sick though, dude.
It's fun.
What were the wheels you had on that? They're 19s. Those
are the Tiguan wheels.
Savannas? Is that what they were called?
Yeah,
Savannas. Savannah, tomato, tomato.
Yeah, it's those 19 by 9s, perfect fitment. When you air it out, it just tucked. It's tough. No spacers, no nothing. I guess that's what I'm meticulous about too. Is wheels. With wheels, it's just trying to get a wheel spec that I don't have to run a spacer. So there's no feeling of this could fall off at some point. Yeah. No disrespect to anybody running spacers. It's
me in particular.
I see you like to run fat ass spacers, but
I've ran every adapter there could be.
No, yeah, for sure. But I love it. I don't know. But for me personally, I want to have a wheel that can that I can pull on and off, that anybody can pull on and off. They
back
don't
to
have
that
worry
OEM
about
plus.
that spacer. It's back to that OEM plus sort of a vibe of like, you could have checked this box.
Yep.
And your car could have come like this.
So what ended up happening to the Passat?
So the Passat, my son, I found out I was having, or my wife was pregnant, and our son was born. And like 5 months after that, I get this like bug up my ass of like, I need a wagon. like my son's not gonna ride in this aired out Passat. Like, I just like freak out, and I'm like, where am I gonna put the stroller? Oh, I'm gonna put the stroller like over the compressor and like all this other stuff. Like, no, like I'm out. Like, you gotta go. Peace.
Oh, I think I remember when you sold it. You sold it like air, like all the air and everything.
Sold
on
it with
it,
the
right?
air on it with like Steelies.
That's right.
But you know, again, took all the stuff off of it. Took the rack off of it. Took the bike accessories, like
the wheels.
Took all the OEM stuff that I added to it just to make it sort of OEM plus, like the Euro tails and you know, the Euro, like everything that I bought for it, took it off. Where I sold it with just the air ride on it, which is fine. I mean, I got my
what was that a B7?
B6 Passat. So that was cool, but like wanted to get a wagon. I'm like, oh yeah, I got a kid now. Like, you know, everybody with kids have wagons, and I didn't want a van or anything like that. I want like a big ass Tahoe or like Suburban. I just wanted I wanted a wagon. Like I thought that was like the one thing. I was like, all right, I'll get a wagon. But like I told my wife, I was like, we're not getting the van. We're not getting the top like this big ass like Bourbon that I see like dudes driving around and I feel like they're upset. But like I wanted a wagon, so I wanted a Passat wagon. But I thought like if I get a Passat wagon, all that air is gonna go in the Passat wagon.
He's gonna do exactly what you did.
Yeah,
with the Mark IV.
Exactly.
You're in the dealership parking lot swapping air ride.
I'm like swapping air ride into a fucking a wagon. Like, yo, go over here, help me out. Like, you know. So I want to get a wagon, but I'm thinking to myself like, oh, I want to upgrade. Like, so I'm like, oh, let me get an A4. I was like, does A4 have a wagon? I was like, oh yeah, they have a wagon. Avance. I was like, oh, this is cool. So then I started looking. You go down the rabbit hole of like Vortex threads and like, what does an A4 look like when you have like cool shit on it? When you have coils, when you have wheels. It's like, all right, that looks cool. That's a dad wagon. I'm down. So ended up finding a wagon out in Riverside, California. Bought it sight unseen.
Damn.
Rented a car.
And drive it one way.
Drive it one way.
Drive the wagon back.
Yeah. That's it. Like that's how.
And you still have the wagon.
I still have the wagon. Damn. Still have the wagon. It's on coils.
LSRs.
Rotiform LSRs, 19 by, I think it's 10 and a half.
That thing looks dope.
And it's cool. Like
it's got a good stance.
Those wheels just the way I like it. It's not too crazy. There's no like big power mods and things like that. It's just a wagon that's like stanced out that looks cool.
Grocery getter, dude.
Full on
roof box.
The idea,
all
like
the, all the fun
all
things.
The things.
Yeah,
just gets groceries. A drive-through killer, like you know, the Target parking lot.
Stunner.
The Costco killer out here. Like it's, you know, all that shit like that. I just wanted a car that like I can drive and like it just looks cool when you like pull up to it. It's not like, you know, you have a kid and it's like everything goes away. It's like I just want a car that's dope. Like it's just cool and it stands out and it looks good.
So around that time, maybe even a little before that time.
Oh, it's before.
I'm driving around a little VR6 swapped Caddy.
Facts.
And a little Meach over here is like, what's going on with that truck?
Dude, I would bug you about this truck every time I came to your house.
This is
when you got it. I was like, man, this thing is dope. Like,
yeah,
because I would see it at Tim's shop, and I would think
Tomas Sport Tuning built Caddy for Tilden,
right?
I think so.
I think Tilden. Oh, I'm sorry. I think Tim had it first.
Yeah,
is what it was.
Tim's truck. I think he sold it. We could be butchering the whole thing.
Like
but
Tim, if you come on and like you can tell the real story, please do. I know you told it to me in front of your shop, but like, you know, If I missed anything, let me correct me if I'm wrong.
He builds his Caddy. It's epic, right? Because Tim built it. VR6 swap, immaculate interior.
All of their stuff is dope.
Resprayed like a air cooled. What color is that? I thought it was like a mango green, but
I don't know. I call it olive oil because it's got the green
and
the red interior, so it kind of looks like olive. So it's called olive oil.
So Tim built that. I think he might have built it for himself.
I think so.
Then
he built it for himself, and then I think Tilden.
Then he went to Tilden.
Yeah.
I think Tilden might have been the one who resprayed it.
Maybe because Tim said it started off as a white truck, and then now it's green. But I think it was like red or something like that too.
And then Tilden had it for a while. I think a head gasket blew on it. He took it back to TST.
Yep.
And then was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sell it. And then homie Simon buys it from Tilden, fixes the head gasket, and a couple other things that's wrong with it.
Yeah, it's already swapped, by the way. It's got the
VR6 swap, 12 valve. Simon drives it around and then decides to try to pull a tree stump out.
Wasn't he using it as like a work truck?
Yeah.
I could not imagine that thing as a work truck. It like barely.
Dude, Simon uses his shit.
It barely gets donuts and like coffee now. Like
barely gets.
I've gone to IKEA in it like once or twice and like had a bunch of like IKEA shit in it and like thought I was like doing it. But
it's
like,
a different car to you than it was to Simon. Yeah. Simon was like, it's a fucking truck,
Simon
bro.
Like, used it like as a truck. I used.
Well, that's how the tailgate got dented.
Yeah.
And Simon,
I will never fix that tailgate. By the way.
Sorry, Simon. I'm gonna out you.
Yeah, I will never fix that.
I think he was like, someone hit me, but he was trying to pull a tree stump out with that thing, and the stump came out and like hit the tailgate.
That's the best story in life because people come and look at it and they're like, "Oh, what happened here?" I'm like, "Bro, I got a story to tell you." Tree stump.
So Simon had it for a while, and I was bugging Simon about it, like how you were bugging me about it. I'm like, "Yo, bro, if you ever sell this thing, I got you. I got you."
I'm here.
So I put the bug in the ear.
Look right there.
There it is.
That's me pulling stuff.
That's IKEA run.
That's the IKEA run.
Actually, this is a great story, but when I took over the FYEAH Volkswagen Instagram page, your truck was the first car I posted as me taking over the page.
There you go.
Homage. So, back to the Caddy. I got it from Simon. I was bugging him like, if you ever get rid of this, sell it to me, sell it to me. And, one day he calls me up. He's like, yo, do you still want the truck? I'm thinking about selling it. I got all this stuff going on. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. So I pick it up from him. I don't even think I owned it a year.
I don't think you owned it a year, and I don't think you drove it much.
I didn't drive it much at all.
Like, you drove it to TST a couple times, like to fix stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was the longest drive you did.
That was the longest drive I did. So I had that truck. What did I do? I don't even think I went to any shows or meets in that thing.
I think you went to one. There was like one show.
I tried to go to one show and I snapped a brake line and didn't have any brakes.
Those brakes are still kind of squishy. Like I still need to go fix them, and I've had the truck for going on 6 years. So
yeah.
I
didn't even have. I think I had that truck for like 5 months, dude.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
I would bug you every.
But I put RSs
time.
on it.
Yeah, you put RSs on it.
I got it. I literally didn't do anything to it but keep it clean. I think I did an oil change, fixed some things like the brake line, some things, do some RSs on it, and just kind of cruised it around.
I think that when you had the RSs, that was when I was like heavy into like, yo. If you want to get rid of this, let me know. Because I thought of myself, I was like, dude, this thing's going to have RSs on it again. Like, it's going to be the shit. And yeah, I got it from you. I finally like convinced you. Well, not even convinced you, but it was again, a random ass late night call. Like, yo, Meach,
hey, Meach.
I think I'm going to sell the truck. You still down? Like, yes,
I'll be there first thing tomorrow.
Yes, I am. And like the next day or the day after,
I remember that I like, hey, dude, you know what it was? Like, me and my wife were selling the house that we were in, and we were buying another house. Yeah. And I had so much shit. I was like, dude, I gotta start getting rid of shit. I'm always buying stuff. I know Meach wants the Caddy, and if I sell the Caddy, I want it to go to a homie. Definitely, I would much rather you've had it because I know how meticulous and stuff you are with your cars. Yeah. I was like, definitely. So I hit you up. I'm like, hey, man, thinking about selling the truck, dude. Are you still interested? And you're like, hell yeah. And I was like, well, when do you want to, like, if you pick it up, what do you want to do? You're like, bro, I'll be there with cash tomorrow.
That's how you get these deals.
And I was like, well, I want to keep the RSs, and I only have like these fucking, what were they, dude? I only had like some wheels in my garage.
I think they're like some rotiform knockoffs.
Yeah, I don't even know how I got them.
It's like, I think they're like ROCs or something.
I think they came on another car that I bought.
Maybe, yeah.
And I don't know how I ended up with them, but I was like, dude, I want to keep the RSs. I'll sell you the truck, but they're gonna go on these like other wheels that I have. And you're like, say no more, fam. I'll be there first thing in the morning.
Bro, it was like it was like the day after or the next day, because it was like that.
By this point, we've been homies for a decade at least.
Yeah.
Right. So you show up the next day.
It's the shortest trip I've had to your house. Like, usually I come over and like we're gonna chill. I'm like, yo, I'm here. Here's your shit. Here's your money. Sign this. I'm out. Yeah. The shortest like trip. I was so disrespectful. It was like, yo, let me get in and out before this guy changes his mind,
dude. And that was so funny because a couple days later, you're like, hey, bro, just to let you know, I didn't want you to change your mind.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not trying to be messed up, but like, yo, I had to get out of there because I really want that truck.
That was so great.
The grin that I had on the way home, like the drive home, I took the longest way possible.
I should have fucked with you and texted you on your way back. Be like, yeah, bro, I've changed my mind.
What do you think? I'll be like,
didn't get that text.
Bro, I've been like, who's this?
New phone, who this?
Yeah, block number. I don't know.
That was hilarious, bro. I remember that. You should have been like, hey, what's up? Like,
oh, dude, it was
bye. I was like,
nothing.
You want to grab some tacos? Yeah. No, we good? All right.
Like, you want to go get a beer? You want? I got stuff going on. I had nothing going on, dude.
I'm about to hit up IKEA.
Yeah, I'm about to leave and get this in my garage ASAP.
Dude, that's so funny.
But I mean, again, more stories of just like being like how you get stuff, like how you acquire things, like how you go about like getting your projects. Yeah. And like the stories around that truck and like what I've been able to do to it since, like how I got it, like being able to take it from what you had it into where it is now, to where like I've refinished a set of wheels for it. I've redone the full interior on it. Yeah. Like the outside looks like what it was before, but like the inside is totally different. But it's all OEM. Yeah. It's all like
you
OEM.
Sourced all those little interior pieces and stuff that were missing.
Interior pieces, all like
you put
radio.
The stock radio back in it.
Yeah. Got stock seats back in it because it had like Mark 1, I think it was Rabbit 4-door seats or something like that. Yeah. But I wanted like the stock caddy, like pickup seats. Yeah. And I found red ones. Nice. In like Sacramento. Some dude wanted $25 for them.
And they're clean.
They're clean.
Yeah.
And he brought them down to my house because he was going to pick up another car.
They didn't even cover the gas that it took him to get down there.
At all. And it's like, those are like those are the stuff that like the parts that you find, like the stories that like, I like that stuff. Like I want to have those kind of conversations with people outside of like how much you spent on this fresh build that you're gonna now tour every show in. Like I really don't care about that stuff. Like that's cool for you, fam. Like, but like, how did you get it? Like, what's the funnest story that you've had? Like,
tell me about how you got these seats.
Yeah, tell me about this. Tell me about this, or tell me about that. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm into now. Like before, it was kind of cool to be like, oh yeah, this car cost me this, or yeah. Now if you have some sort of build like that, good on you. But like, I'm over here with this like beater Mark II that like has dope wheels, but just has a story
behind it and a history to it. Yeah, for sure. I kind of like all the things, The funny thing is that, like, when me and Justin were talking, we're like, dude, if you want to keep a car in the family, like, sell it to Meach. We'll have it forever.
If I like it, oh, dude. I mean, because that truck is not leaving. My son will fight you to the death. And he's, what, 6 almost now? He will put hands on you if you try and take this truck. So, yeah, I'm keeping that truck forever or until someone
like, hey, Meach, bro. I think I even said this to you. I was like, if you ever go to sell this truck, hit me up first. You're like, oh, yeah,
it's not going to happen. Like, I'm not trying to be fucked up, but it's like, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm not getting rid of that truck. Unless someone comes out of the pockets with, like, something pretty dope. Nah. And I know that I'm not going to get a bunch of money for it, but, like, there's no way. It's a Mark 1.
I don't know. You might, dude. That thing's clean.
Well, I mean,
minus the tailgate. There isn't a dent on it from what I remember.
I mean, it's like a 5-footer. Like, you get back a little bit, and you're like, oh, this thing looks clean. But then, like, you get close up to it, and then you see, like, the
I think a 5-footer is pretty good for a daily driven.
Especially if you beat on it.
That truck's had a life, bro.
It's probably got some stories.
It's like chilling with you. You're giving it like the easiest life it's had.
I mean, I drive it hard, and it's fun to like just fly down, romp on it a little bit, and just like cruise the freeways and do all that stuff. Like it gets driven, but like I'm sure it doesn't get like murdered like it used to.
Yeah,
like it just driven hard, and then like I put it away and I wash it.
I never even drove it. I never even drove it hard when I had it. I would have like a couple of unsuspecting people on like a freeway, like roll up next to me, and then I'll fucking, like, it's just got a VR in it, bro. Yeah. And people will be like, oh shit. That's
the most surprising thing about it. Like it cruises really nice, and then you got like these kids that come up to you and like they're 350Zs or something like that. That like think it's
they're like cool, and then they go to take off, and you drop a gear, and you're still next to them. They're like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck's going on?" I'm like sitting there like, like,
no, homie,
no, it's not gonna happen. But like that's the cool thing about it. It's very like it's not, you don't suspect anything from it.
Yeah,
you just like, oh, it sounds like it's got something, but like, nah. But you get a nice little straightaway, and you're out.
Yeah,
and it pulls hard. Like it pulls forever.
Yeah, and that's a healthy VR, dude.
I love it. I love everything about it. I love the way it was built. Like it's
the story behind it. All the stories that came with it.
Like knock on all the wood, but it hasn't like broken. Like it's the one thing that's happened is like a shift linkage clip.
The little clip, the
like
clip on the shifter.
Like took me out.
It takes everyone with the Mark 1 out, dude.
But it's also like I knew exactly where I was going to look for this problem. But like it took me out. Like I'm like I wasn't even far away from my house, but I'm like
holding the shifter up,
cruising backwards, holding the shifter up, like trying to get in. I could only get into like second and fifth, and just like like winding out second, trying to get home. But like it's stories like that. It's like stuff like that where like the truck is built amazing, and like Tim and everybody who's had like hands on it, like I can't thank you enough because you make it very easy to work on and very easy to.
What's dope is like you can hit up Tim at any time and be like, "Yo, I got this and this and this going on," and he'll tell you what's up, or he'll be like, "Bring it by," or whatever.
Tim, was it Matt? Like I hit Matt up all the time who works out there. Like,
shout out, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, like they're all like good people, and like you just want to be around them. It's really cool. I end up being there for far too long, and I just sit there and hang out. Like, yo, bro, your shit's done. Like, your oil change is done.
You're still here, bro?
Like, everything's good. I'm like, yeah, cool. But then they, like, sit there and talk to you outside for, like, 20, 30 minutes. And it's like, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's dope that the truck is still in the fam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got the little TST badge in the front. Like, I'll never get rid of that. Everybody asks me what that is, and it's like those are the folks that help make this happen.
Dude, that's a sick little truck, man.
It's fun.
Hey, if you ever go to sell that thing,
it's not. I'll let you can talk to Cooper. Cooper will let you know.
I don't want Cooper putting hands on me, dude.
He'll threaten you like no other. You can talk to him.
Dang, dude.
It's good. It'll stay. It's definitely gonna stay in the fam. Like, you know, if I do ever sell it, and I don't think I will, but if I do, like, it'll, you know, go to somebody who actually cares about it.
Yeah.
And actually drives it. Because, like, I like the fact that it's driven. Like, people, I can't go get gas in it without someone talking to me about it or telling me a story about theirs or something.
I used to have a Scirocco.
Something cool. But I want to make sure it's like that. When it stops being like that, then I'll probably get rid of it. But you know, there's no way that's going to happen.
Well, we were talking about you bringing it up here for Pacific Waterlands this year.
Yes.
Right?
No, that's going to be a definite. I'm getting my Q7 tow ready so I can tow it up here.
Be sick.
And have a week of craziness. Not craziness, like we're back in
cruisiness.
Cruisiness. There you go. Gonna have old man cruises and all this stuff.
Yeah, dude.
It's gonna be cool.
I mean, it's been rad that you've been out here. I always love when you come and visit because I've got a couple Mark 1s and we just hop in them and smash around.
Just burn around the town. Like, I mean, out here, it's so many cruising spots and just like everything's I was giving you shit yesterday. Like everything's like 3 minutes away. But like in those 3 minutes, you've gone so many places and cruised around that like it's just cool. I can't wait to have it up
dude,
here.
Dude, I can't wait. Yeah, it's gonna be sick for you if you bring the truck up here. We'll hit like a Cars and Coffee like we did today. You got to cruise the MG Rabbit around. Yeah, met with some homies.
Yeah, no, it's good people out here too. Like they're just, you know, it's not like a scene of just, you know, elitists or like people that don't want to talk to you about stuff.
Yeah,
like they actually want to tell you about their builds. You know, some are really long. They're like really long conversations. You're like, all right, bro, I gotta. All right, cool.
This is kind of dragging on.
Man, help me, Ryan. Where are you? No, you're over there. Don't go that way. But I mean, for the most part, it's just cool. It's just cool conversations at these Cars and Coffees now. That like, how before it was just like people that don't want to sit there and talk. And
well, again, dude, I think it's like the whole last year of everyone's lives, especially car guys. Yeah. Right. And a lot of like people took advantage of like, you know, all the lockdown and COVID shit, and they hung out in their garage and they built cool shit.
Now you can come out.
And now you can come out and play, like, dude. Man, everyone's got stories and
COVID.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
No, that's dope.
It's sick. And people want to be out and they want to be at shows and meets and they want to be like talking to people and engaging.
I mean, I'm excited about like what's to come, you know, with all this stuff like reopening and like shows actually, you know, being confirmed and like.
Bro, this weekend was gnarly. Yeah. You had the Alpine Volks Fair. Yeah. You had the Dubs at the Lake. You had like that huge drive out like in Portland. I always forget the name of that one, but that was this weekend. Yeah. Like shit's popping off, dude.
I wish I came out earlier though. We can you know, cruise Mark 1s and just, you know, go to these shows that are like popping up now that like, I mean, they're outdoors and all that stuff, which is cool, but like, you know, being able to do that again, like, being able to like see your friends and like do stuff, you know, it's been dope.
Yeah, so, for sure.
I mean, it's a new whatever normal is now, but like, we'll figure it out. It'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I just think it like revitalized like the scene.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it definitely revitalized like people's want to do stuff, and like want to like build cool shit, and like that's the cool part for me, I guess. It's like I stayed in my garage and like I was getting all the little OEM plus stuff for my truck, so now my truck has a bunch of parts that I wouldn't have thought of, you know, a couple of years ago. That now I'm like, it has it, and now, you know, I'd be able to show it off at a show or get together or something like that.
It's like that cool stuff that you get that you know, that like most people don't notice, and then that one like Volkswagen nerdy dude comes by and goes, "Oh shit," and points it out, and you're like, "Yeah."
I was at a Cars and Coffee a couple maybe a month ago, and some dude did the same thing. It was like a sticker like for my gas filler neck. But it's like an OEM sticker for a shirt. It's like, oh, you got this? Like, where'd you get this? And like, I found it on eBay, like, whatever. Like, I thought it was like, I just wanted a sticker. It was like, oh, it's something OEM.
Yeah.
Sweet. This guy like nerded out on it for like 20 minutes. I was like, yo, like, what did I do?
Here's the eBay link, bro.
Yeah, like,
this guy's remaking them, dude.
It's cool.
Go bug
things
this guy.
Like that, like, you know, people that build things like that and, you know, have that sort of vibe to their car.
Yeah.
That's probably who the folks that I gravitate towards the most.
Yeah. I'm stoked about everything on the whole.
It should be cool.
It'll never, like, we had some crazy days, bro. Like, when we were hanging together and we were doing, like, the car show stuff and we were doing, like, the car club stuff, we were, like, a decade and a half younger than we are now.
Yeah.
So shit was crazy.
Yeah. No,
we were, like, trashing hotels, jumping off of roofs.
Like, you think about it now, like, we were goofballs. Like, we were just...
How did any of us not end up in jail?
Nobody went to jail. At all.
That I know of.
Yeah, I mean, I can't confirm that. I didn't go to jail. So
I didn't go to jail either.
That's all I care about. But, like, you know, we do, like, these wild things at hotels, almost get kicked out, but don't get kicked out.
Yeah.
And we do it, like, again.
We'd always get threatened and get kicked out.
Yeah.
I remember Joe Banga. I remember duct taping him. He passed out. It was like a show in the early 2000s. It might have been like Buggerama or something.
Yeah.
So we show up at the hotel. This dude instantly gets trashed and passed out in a chair in one of our hotel rooms. Yep. And like within the first hour that we're there, this he's already passed out. So we like duct tape him to the chair that he's in, and we stick him in the elevator and we send him down to the lobby.
Like, it's like just stuff like that. Like, you couldn't do that right
We
now.
took all of the hotel furniture that was in the hallway of our floor, and we stuck it into that one room we were all hanging out in, and we had everybody in there. We had like couches and couches and couches.
Bro, you couldn't do that now. Like, the authorities are getting called, like, dude, immediately. So funny. And, like, we are getting our asses handed to us. But, like, those days were fun because you went to some random town. I mean, Buggerama is like Sacramento, but, like, you went to some random hotel, raged for 2 days, and then you came home.
Somehow we almost got kicked out of one hotel. It was very close.
Very close.
But very close.
But the key word
cops never showed up.
Cops never showed up. You never had cops go up. Like, I'm sure now, like, the cops are, like, at the ready to show up, but, like, back then.
I remember that night where we sent Joe to the lobby in a chair. And the hotel manager came to our room and knocked on our door and was like, hey, man, we see everything on video cameras. You need to, like, untape this dude from this chair because he's still in the elevator.
Could you, like, imagine us back in?
You imagine checking into a hotel and you go to the elevator and, like, homie's just still passed out, taped to it.
Like, you're tired as hell driving all day, and, like, your next...
He's like, your buddy's still in the elevator.
Next sight is, like, some dude duct taped to a chair.
You need to get this dude out of the chair. Also, you need to return all of the furniture you stole from the hallway.
Like, where'd you guys get duct tape? Like,
I don't think we did any of that. I think we left the room, like, full of furniture. Yeah. It's such a douche move nowadays that we look back.
No, I mean, I think about it now. I'm like, yo, we were douchey. But it's still fun. I mean, we still had a good time. We didn't kill anybody.
We were just a little rambunctious crowd.
Yeah. We didn't do any of the wild stuff you see on TV now, but, like, we still had a good time.
Yeah, it was mostly, like, pranking and just stuff like that.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
We're definitely down to do that, and we took it full advantage of that.
I remember one trip we go to SoCal, and I had way too many margaritas at, like, some chain Mexican food restaurant. Oh. And then we started jumping off the roof into the pool. Remember that?
We had, like, a second story.
Security guard came out and was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. But, like, those are, like, what? Like,
but before that, we were messing around in the exercise room.
No, that wasn't it. Vegas, where you did the exercise ball?
No, that was Dub Fest or Dub Wars.
Okay, the best.
Man.
Stuff I saw you crash hard. The hardest I think I've seen you hit something in life.
I don't know what was going on that night, but someone had turned up one of the treadmills like full blast.
Yeah.
And I was running around with an exercise ball, like bouncing off of people and like jumping off of stuff. And then I saw the treadmill, but I was so like drunk, I didn't realize how fast it was going. I'm just gonna
like in slow motion.
I'm just gonna like bounce on this thing real quick.
What do you think was gonna happen? Like, you just gonna bounce?
Bro, I was like
up?
4 margaritas deep. I wasn't thinking about anything.
How big of a margarita? Because I can get.
Bro, they were like toilet bowl margaritas, dude.
So you're on one.
I was gone.
You're on one.
I was gone. And then I like jumped on the treadmill and did like a super flip. Yeah.
Super flip, and like it just kicked you off the back, and
yeah.
The hardest. It was like
I don't even remember what happened, but Cole filmed the whole thing, and then that's how I was like, oh shit, that's how that happened.
Yeah. So you had like almost call them like rug burns on your extremities.
Dude, it like tore it like literally because when I hit the treadmill.
Oh yeah, on your shoulder.
It like tore my tattoo ink out.
The best. Now you look at that and you're like, oh. Yeah,
I didn't fix it.
You didn't fix it?
I didn't fix it. I was like, no, I'll leave that there, dude. That's a story. A drunk ass story, dude.
Drunken moment.
Dude, those are crazy days.
Fun.
But again, you're always like, I don't know if we should be doing this, guys.
I'm not like I don't want to be, painted as like the Debbie Downer of the group.
No, you're never Debbie Downer, but you're like, all right, I'm going to give you guys a couple suggestions.
I don't say it like out loud, but you might see it in my facial expression of just like, I don't know if that's going to work out.
Before I do anything stupid, I like look at you and be like, all right, I probably shouldn't do this.
But I probably wasn't like around. Like, yo, fam. All right. But I also am like, I'm there for the giggles after. Like,
yeah.
I'll laugh at somebody falling hard. Like, no problem.
That's usually me.
I'm a sucker for a good trip and fall. I'm down. If you trip and fall in front of me, it's over. It's over. Dude.
Man, those are great times, dude.
That's fun.
Super great times. I'm glad we're like getting back into it now.
Yeah. It'll be cool. I mean, the next like year or so, when like actual shows start to pop back up and all the stuff that you used to.
I think this year, dude, I'm gonna try to do all the things.
Yeah, I'm starting to do a few shows out here that I can. Depending on what goes on and how they're sort of held, and then go from there.
Yeah,
it'll be. I think I'm gonna pick and choose like the shows that I go to, or try and like show my truck in.
Yeah,
just because like
Well, you're gonna do Radwood, right?
Yeah,
Radwood in NorCal.
I think so. Yeah, I mean I
that's sick.
Signed up for it and like paid all the registration and all that stuff, and they looked at my.
That's dope because that was canceled last year.
That was canceled last year, and I dig those shows. Like
dude.
Like, especially if you're in like the 80s, 90s, 90s.
Yeah, all the retro
all
stuff.
Those stuff. Like shout out the Ford Probe. We were talking about earlier.
Nah, dude.
No? All right, cool.
I'm into the Corollas and shit.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I was drunk. I don't know how old I was, but maybe I was drunk. But I'm into those shows like that, to where like you have like those era correct builds too.
Yeah.
Like I dig that stuff, and like seeing what people were sort of going or doing back then, and trying to replicate that now.
Yeah.
And
I love being the age that, because those are all the cars that were around when we were kids. I love being the age that we are now, and like people have money now and stuff, and they're like these cars that we grew up with and thought were cool are like cool again. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's wild to see them like as popular as they are now. Yeah. Because was it maybe 5 years ago? You could buy these cars
dirt cheap, dime a dozen.
Like they're giving some of these stuff away. Yeah. Now you're paying 2, 3, 4, 5 racks for like one that's like clapped. Yeah. No motor sometimes. And you're like, what? I was getting these for like $500 at the pick and pull.
Yeah, dude.
Now they're going for like 25.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on?
It's crazy, man. I think it's cool though.
I think it's great.
I think it's great.
I'd love it. I'd love to see him out and about. I'd love to see him at shows, like not just like the new stuff, but like whenever there's something old at a show, I'm all about it. Yeah, like
I'm that same way too. If it's from that era, even if it's not like Volkswagen.
No, yeah,
you know
anything.
I love like era. All the like 80s, 90s retro shit, like the Corollas and the Conquest and Starions and like all these like fucking weird,
all these weird stuff
niche
that
cars.
You didn't.
I saw an Eagle Talon today at Cars and Coffee, and I was like, yeah.
I can see that one too. But then like it's like now you look at them like, yo, what is?
Is that the GSX? I always get the Talon and the Eclipse confused. The all-wheel, the dope Eclipse was the GSR, right? And I think the Talon was the GSX, but yeah, the turbocharged all-wheel drive ones. I think the whatever that version of the Eagle Talon was at the Cars and Coffee today, dude. And I was like stoked on it.
Yeah, it's things stuff like that.
Yeah,
but you also had like the exotics. You also had like the newer stuff.
Bro, that dude showed up in a Safari 911. That thing was sick.
There's probably the Porsche. So any Porsche dude out there was probably kicking something at that. So it's all lifted and shit. Like you need to see that like down on the ground.
That thing was sick. I took a picture of it. I'll throw it up on my Instagram.
That shit came in. That was dope.
Yeah.
And shout out him. He had the driving gloves that matched the interior.
I couldn't tell if he was being ironic about that or not.
I don't know if he was.
I hope he was,
because his car was like mad filthy, but he had these like driving gloves, like it'd been in the garage. And like,
I hope he was trolling just because it's like he's in a Safari Porsche. So I was hoping a Safari 911. I was hoping he was like, I don't want to do the driver glove thing just to
piss people off.
Yeah, just to be like ironic.
I dig it. I dug the car too. I was like, this cool.
It was sick. It was a Washington car.
You guys out here do it way different in Cali.
That's what I was telling someone on the podcast not too long ago. I was like, man, it's like totally different. It's like worlds apart.
I don't see anything like that out there. I mean, you have like the Overland crew, but like none of this.
But they're not Safari, like things that aren't supposed to be overlanded. Yeah.
Like the mid-sized like cars that like all of a sudden get safaried out or overlanded out here. Yeah. It's cool to see.
I'm down with that. I started like, seeing like even dudes doing like Mark IV Golfs, lifting them. Stuff like that. I'm like all about it. I'm like, oh, this is sick.
Maybe I just don't see it, and they're all out there. But like out here, oh man, you can see it.
No, dude,
I dig it.
We're in the mountains, man. Whoever like anytime anyone can lift anything and put like all-terrain tires on it, they're gonna do it here.
You're out here. You're out here for sure. Yeah, it's like when the airport is like this big. When I came in, I was like, yo, all right.
Oh, dude, that's great. Oh, man. Do you have anything else planned for the Caddy? Is there like anything big that you want to do to it? I mean, it's cool the way it is now. You literally don't have to touch anything on it. But is there any like big mods that...
I don't know. I think I want to like refresh the motor because I don't know how many miles are on it. Like I want to guess how many miles are on it, but I don't know for sure. I could ask Tim or ask anybody over there like what they think. Yeah. But probably like drop in the same motor, but just refresh. I don't know. I think that's like probably the biggest thing I want to do to it. Maybe another set of wheels. Mess with the interior a little bit more. But like I don't know. I just like to drive it. So I don't want to like make it to a point where I don't want to drive it. Drive it.
See, that's where I'm at with all my stuff too. Yeah. It's like I love looking at people's like show cars or like whatever. I just like I'm not at the point where I like would want to own one anymore. No. Number one, like I don't get any enjoyment from like detailing cars or washing cars.
Yeah. I mean the only enjoyment I get is like every Sunday. I mean it's not every Sunday, but it's like
it's every Sunday.
All right, yeah. You're right.
I follow you on Instagram, homie. It's every Sunday.
It's true. It's just cleaning it for the week. Like, that's it. I don't like to, I feel like it's stressful to have a show car.
Yeah, dude. Because for sure.
You're going to all these meets and these shows and,
constantly detailing, constantly cleaning stuff, worrying about scratches, worrying about someone hitting it, worrying about rock chips and fucking, man.
Yeah, go anywhere. I feel like it's just
anxiety
as hell. So I just drive it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I got a rock chip? Cool. Right. I got this? All right. I got a crack on my windshield.
I replaced the windshield on that thing when I first got it.
Oh, it's got a crack in it now. But it's like it only went up here and then went down. So I can't really see it. It's just like that.
Dude, my brown bunny's got that windshield's fucked off.
It's a wrap.
It's pretty bad.
But no,
speaking of Brown Bunny, dude, Griffin.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Dude, he made me a custom Hot Wheel of the Brown Bag Bunny.
Dude,
he gave me at Cars and Coffee this morning.
I'm gonna send him a couple of Hot Wheels for the truck.
Dude, I am
to redo that.
So fucking stoked on this thing. It looks exactly like it. With roof rack and the wheels, the color
on the top.
Oh, dude,
it's dope.
Griffin, you are the man, bro. Oh,
it's cool, man. That stuff is
so
dope.
Sick.
I need to like try and do shit like that now with all my diecasts because I have way too many this past year and a half of just like collecting stuff and keeping my mind busy and all this stuff with everything being locked down. But I think that I need to get into that and
start customizing some dude. He sent. I'm gonna post it all on Instagram, but he was sending me all the pictures as he was doing the whole process, like taking it apart,
like
stripping the paint.
Surprise?
No, he was like sending me all the pictures, so I like have the whole build essentially in pictures.
That's dope.
I'm gonna post them all up.
Oh, and dude, that's sick. No, he's a good dude. Like that's cool.
Dude, it's so rad. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's so sick. I don't know that you should really need to do anything to that truck.
I don't know. It's just it's fun the way it is. Like if I did anything, it was like I would try and figure out a way to pull that dent out of the tailgate, but keep the tailgate the way it is, like with all the patina on it.
Yeah.
Like that's like the big stuff that I want to like do. Like everything else works. It's done. Like I would probably try and source a set of those was it 1552 those snowflakes?
Yeah.
Tim, holler if you want to get rid of those. Let me know. Because I think that's like the biggest thing is like
that would be cool because that'd be like that's kind of like your style, like that OEM plus throwback style. So I could definitely see. Well, you already got those BBS meshes on there that match the truck really well.
Those are cool.
But
I really like those.
Those snowflakes.
But the snowflakes would be like
that's like because it was like an OEM wheel.
Yeah,
so I could see.
I think that's like the biggest thing outside of like the motor. Just getting a little bit of a refresh on that, so I can just. It's turnkey now, but like just be able to just romp on it and not really care.
Yeah.
Is just the biggest thing. I'm really enjoying the way it drives, or have been enjoying the way it drives for the last like 6 years, and being able to do the stuff that I do to it. Like I don't really want to do anything else to it. Like, because again, if I do something to it that makes it to where I don't want to drive it. Yeah. Like I don't want a garage queen that just sits there and like looks cool in pictures in my garage, or 2 random like shows a year. Right. Like I drive it to like drive it.
I'm right there with you, dude. I'm right there with you. And like still like back when we were doing our shit, and I had my Mark IV R32. That was stressful, dude. And it's just like a lot of upkeep, dude. How many times did I respray my front bumper on that car? Yeah. Like 6.
Yeah, for what?
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, dude, I don't want to deal with that anymore. I'm like the same way. I want to get a car that's kind of patina, kind of clapped out, and I just want to drive it. I want to do stupid shit to it.
And that's like before, like the whole like Instagram, Facebook, like days. I mean, I guess we had Facebook back then too, but like
not really. Like there wasn't really like the groups and stuff going down though.
Like where you would see like your car almost every weekend. Yeah, like, you don't see that. You didn't see that before. So now it's like people have to keep up with all of these like camera phones and people posting on their pages about your thing, your car, or your show car, and you got to keep it clean. Like before, all I would see it is like somebody shooting for that day. Yeah. And then like you wouldn't see it your car for another couple months. Yeah. Now I'm like seeing it in stories and like people's posts every day. And it's like they gotta keep that shit clean all the time. Stressful.
Oh man, dude.
I'm cool.
My Mark ones I just gotta keep dirty all the time.
Yeah. Like the wheels are clean. Yeah. But everything else, man.
The wheels and the glass and the interior. Yes. That's all I care about.
I almost wanted to like wash the green one today, but like you were saying, like if you put water on it, it's like gonna decay. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want that.
You're just gonna take more paint off.
Yeah,
it's got the perfect amount of patina right now.
But it's cool. Like I don't know.
It was like dusty because it was sitting in my garage, and it gets like, dude, the Central Oregon's just like super dusty. Yeah. Everyone who lives here, like, it's super hard to keep cars clean. Even in my garage, there's like a layer of dust on everything. I don't know how that shit gets in there, but it does. And I was helping Chris do some stuff to his Golf R. He was doing an autocross yesterday, so we were swapping wheels or whatever. So I pulled the car outside, and it started raining. Like, it sprinkled a little bit. It was like just enough wet to get
to be annoying.
Yeah, no, well, to like I'm like, oh, cool, it had a wash. Oh yeah, and I just pulled it in and just like wiped it down.
Dude, that's what you did. No, oh my god,
got rid of all the dust.
That's like the cats that like that it rains and it's like, oh yeah, free car wash. And I'm like, no, it's not a free car wash.
It
like,
is for me, dude.
Your shit's filthy.
What I did was like it got wet. And I pulled it in the garage and I threw some of that like waxes you dry shit on it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm out of here. This thing is over, bro.
Dude, that's hilarious.
No.
I did that real quick so you didn't see me.
No, I saw you wiping it down, but I'm like, all right, this thing must have been cleaned like recently.
No,
it was
got rained on.
Full on drizzle.
Got rained on.
Drizzle water that you wiped off. Mm-hmm. Sick.
With some waxes you dry.
Well, yeah. Can't forget that.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, but I dig driving those around. Like they're just like they're insanely slow, but like all the noises that they make and like all the like bouncing around that you do.
Yeah.
It's the best time.
It's definitely the opposite from your Mark 1. My Mark 1s are definitely the opposite of your Mark 1. Yours is like kind of like yours is a driver.
Mine is a driver, like shifting that. Like
but it's like it's still clean.
Yeah. No, it's like driving the truck compared to driving this is definitely two different animals. Mm-hmm. You know, even down like the shifting in that is just like a rowboat. It's just like woo, like shifting.
I still need to fix I've had all the stuff I have a USRT shift kit for the Mountain Green Bunny, and I just like never have or make time, I should say, to like do that shit. But but even and like every Mark 1, like all the shifter shit's just corroded in that car.
Driving it the way it is now, I love it. Like I drove it all day today.
Yeah,
and I had a grin on my face like I was driving like an exotic.
I like how we were smoke screening Chris because we had two diesels and we were just like,
that's the best part.
Just laying smoke all over them,
smoking all over the place. I'm like, dude, this thing is amazing.
That was fun, dude.
It's cool to be able to drive something like that, and like the way you have yours set up, both of yours set up is that like the wheels are amazing. Like some BBSs on the green. You have the mini ones on
the mini Steelies
on the brown one. Like it fits it aesthetically to where like it's just a fun car to have and to drive.
Yeah,
like I love driving that car, but it's like it also looks good because people are losing their shit like eating breakfast this morning, and people were like,
that was kind of cool. We rolled downtown and everyone was like, oh,
and we're not being like obnoxious.
No,
like,
dude, not at all.
Go and they sit there and two-step on you, or we're just like cruising down, like literally just driving.
They're just idle loud.
Yeah, we're not being ridiculous. Like we're just driving normal. Yeah, and like people are losing their minds, and it was like, this is cool. Like this is the fun part about driving old
Volkswagens, dude.
Is fun to just hang out. Cruise around the town. Don't be an absolute idiot. Like you see people leaving cars and coffee. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to be around.
I can't wait till you bring your truck up here, man. Number one, I'm gonna get to drive it again.
But it's coming home with me though.
I was like, hey, bro, you should just register this up here and like.
So I can do some wild shit to it. No, it's. Because then if I register, I'm like, I have to register in your name. And like, then it's going to be like, there's no name. Whatever. No. Yeah, I mean,
this fool stole my caddy.
Yeah. Help. But no, it should be cool. Like, I'm excited about that show and being able to like hang out and do that type of stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen that truck in person in like 2 years.
Something like that.
It's been like 2 years.
I brought it to we played basketball one day, one morning, and I brought it out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while.
Dude, I missed that truck.
No, it'll be all cleaned up and running cool by then. So, I mean, it runs fine now, but it'll be all cleaned up.
Yeah.
By then.
Can't wait for that, man.
Should be cool.
It's gonna be super sick.
Can't wait.
Fun times.
Always.
Well, dude, I just want to thank you so much for being on the podcast.
It's been a pleasure.
I know you're gonna come up here anyway, but I was like, bro, while you're here, we have to do a podcast, man. There's no coming here and not doing one.
Well, I kind of wanted to do it in person anyways, because I don't know, my garage is cool, but it's not as cool as some of the other shit I was seeing. I was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna come in here, and it gives me a chance to just hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
Drive Mark 1s for no reason and just chill.
Yeah, dude. It's been great, man. And we're not done
awesome.
yet.
No.
Do some more chilling. We should hop in some Mark 1s and go chill and go do some cruising after this.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Grab some tacos.
Oh, always.
Taco time, baby.
Always. No, it's cool, man. And I, from that conversation that we had about a year ago or so.
Yeah.
To see you be able to sort of set this up, set up these conversations, have these folks, talk about their stories. It's been dope to see. And I know that it's going to get bigger and better with every, sort of interview that you do or podcast that you do. So I can't wait to see that part of it and to see that journey.
Thanks, dude.
And see all that.
Well, you were there from, like I said, man, if it wasn't for that conversation, this whole podcast thing probably wouldn't exist. But every step of the way, I'm like, bro, this is what the studio looks like. Yeah. This is the shit I'm going to do. What do you think about this? I got to do that. I got to do this.
It only gets better, dude. It's only going to get better. I'm telling you. These ones you start off with are cool, but man, it's gonna be.
I just want to talk to cool people who are into Volkswagens.
That's
all
sure
I want to do.
That's what's gonna happen.
And I want to just want to support the scene that way,
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward to the interviews to come. And
I got a lot of cool people lined up, dude.
Man, I took a peek at the list.
A lot of cool people lined up. I am so fucking stoked that I can just, you know what I mean? Hit someone up and be like, yo, would you do my podcast? And people are super receptive to it. And it's not a huge channel or anything crazy right now, but just people taking their time to have me ask them questions about their history in the scene and their builds and stuff like that, dude. It's super fucking awesome.
And I dig it. I dig all the conversations that you had. I said it earlier, but understanding sort of where things came from.
Yeah.
And what even down to some of the build threads that I was seeing on Vortex, what those folks are going through and what they've been doing now, and to see some of the builds sort of they still have them.
Yeah, dude. Or they've gone through changes or people bringing stuff back or, that's another thing too for me. It was man, whatever happened to this dude or whatever happened to this car? Let me go down a rabbit hole and try to get that dude on the podcast to talk about it, stuff like that. So I got a lot of cool stuff coming. A lot of cool people, a lot of cool guest lineup. I'm just super, super excited for everything.
Cool, dude. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
But I have to thank you because, like I said, if it wasn't for that conversation and that moral support,
I'm always down to support the homies. See people, do great things and support where I can. So I'm always down for that conversation. I'm definitely not the Debbie Downer of the clique. I just don't like to get fucked up or smashed into walls by medicine balls and shit like that. Also, it's just I think about it for a second. I do some wild shit, but I just think about it for a second and then think again. I'm too old for some of this shit too.
I'm too old for that shit too. Yeah. But it was always good to have you there. Is I think the reason why none of us ever went to jail is because of you.
Yeah, who else go there? We're out in LA, away from home. I ain't got time for that. Fuck that. I'm cool.
Well, thank you for keeping me out of jail.
Yeah, definitely.
And thank you for being a homie to talk me through all getting this podcast stuff started.
That's cool.
Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here in person.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
And we're going to sign off, and we're going to go hop into some Mark 1s and go get some tacos.
Let's get down. I'm down.
Bro, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, podcast. Fuck yeah, podcast. Fuck yeah.